I can't stop watching the video of my wife cheating. I've always thought the little things were what kept a marriage alive. The coffee in the morning before she wakes up, the how was your day, even when I was too tired to speak, the quiet support during her career switches, her moments of doubt, her anxiety. That's what love is, right? Not fireworks. But consistency, showing up. So when I started planning a surprise night out, it wasn't just a date. It was my way of saying, hey, I still see you. I still want you. Let's remember who we were before the chaos. I arranged for my parents, who live an hour and a half away, to take the kids for the weekend. They were thrilled. My parents love having the kids. The plan was simple: drop the kids off, drive back early, surprise my wife, hit that Italian place she loves, and maybe grab a few drinks afterward. Usually, when I go visit my folks, I stay the whole day. That's the expectation. But this time, I dropped the kids off, gave a quick excuse, and left. I was home before 12:30. As I turned onto our street, I saw a truck parked in front of our house. Didn't recognize it. Not completely strange. Sometimes neighbors have visitors, but something about it, something small, quiet in my chest, felt wrong. So I parked a few houses down. I figured, if I'm going to surprise her, might as well sneak in the back way and make it extra romantic. I was smiling. I was excited. That version of me, the hopeful, loving version, died 10 minutes later. I entered through the basement door, trying not to make a sound. And then I heard it, a moan, faint but unmistakable. At first I was confused. Maybe she was alone? I hesitated, didn't want to embarrass her. I've always respected her privacy, even in that way. But then, another voice. A man's. I felt like the floor dropped out from under me. My chest tightened. Every heartbeat echoed through my ears. I crept up the stairs, one slow step at a time. The door at the top was cracked open. Kitchen was empty, but I could hear them in the living room. Low, breathy sounds. Giggling, whispering. My stomach was in knots. I was shaking, but I needed to know. I had to know. I pulled out my phone, opened the camera, and slowly extended it past the corner. I didn't look with my own eyes. I couldn't bear it. I only looked at the screen, and there she was, my wife, on the couch, with a stranger. Her body, her laughter, the way she touched him. It was like she had rehearsed it, like this wasn't the first time. I watched. I recorded. Not out of spite, but because I needed it to be real. I needed proof that I wasn't just imagining this. And the worst part, it wasn't rushed. There was no shame, no guilt in her eyes, just comfort, like she belonged there. At one point, she joked about how much time they had left. They weren't worried. They didn't expect me home. Eventually, they got up to go to the bedroom. She held his hand like they were teenagers sneaking off to fool around after school. I was frozen. Number I could have walked in, screamed, fought, but I didn't. I just stood there. After they went upstairs, I entered the living room. I saw his jeans on the floor, his wallet sticking out. I picked it up, flipped it open, and took photos of everything. Driver's license, address, name. Never seen the guy before in my life. No mutual friends. Just some guy. Then I left. Same way I entered. When I got back to the car, I broke. Sobbed like a child. Gripping the steering wheel. Shaking. And then I watched the video. Start to finish. Just to make sure it was real. I couldn't go back to my parents and get the kids. How would I explain this? Hey mom. Hey dad. Yeah, I just caught my wife cheating. Mind if I crash with you guys for a bit? So I did something stupid. I went back, pulled into the driveway, opened the garage, made sure she heard me coming. She greeted me in a robe, flustered. You're home early? Said she was just about to take a bath. Her smile was fake, but she tried. I told her about my surprise. The dinner, the plans. She lit up, played her part well, poured us wine, said we should pre-game a little. She pulled me into the living room, the same couch, the scene of the crime. And I saw him, her lover, sneak downstairs in the background. He tiptoed to the basement door, quiet like a thief. I didn't say anything. I let her touch me. I let her pretend, and I hated myself for it. That was 2 weeks ago. Since then, I've watched that video over and over again. Every night, every morning. Sometimes 10 times a day, like a wound I couldn't stop picking at. But yesterday, I stopped. I made copies of the video, uploaded it to a secure folder, sent one to my lawyer. Turns out infidelity matters in our state, especially when it's caught this clearly. I visited him, went to his house. I stayed calm, told him I knew who he was, asked if he knew she was married. He looked like he'd seen death itself. Said, I thought they were having problems. I told him to stay the hell away from my kids, or everyone in his life would see that video. He agreed. No fight, just fear. And then last night, I confronted her, sat her down, put the video on the living room TV. No words, just press play. She broke, tried to lie at first, then begged, screamed, said she didn't want to lose what we have. And I looked her in the eyes and said, you already did. The divorce is already in motion. I've spoken with my parents. The kids will stay with me for now. And as for me, I'm healing. Slowly, but I'm healing. Because sometimes the loudest revenge isn't yelling, it's moving on, quietly, with dignity, letting them sit in the ruins they built. And me? I'm building something better, brick by brick.
If you like to watch more videos, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell.